Good morning, Unicousin. I'm so grateful to have you here on this Thursday morning. It is almost 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here in the Pacific Northwest, and I'm so tired of Dragon Destiny. I be over here, you guys like the video. I be over here trying to work on my karma, speaking nice things and nice words, putting out positive vibrations and frequencies into the universe. And then Destiny's trending, and I'm just like, man, there goes that work. So I'm gonna try to be nice, or I won't try to be nice, but I'll try not to be mean. Okay. So I saw this Dear Future Wifey interview, and I gotta be honest, I did not complete it. I was so overwhelmed by the fraud. I was so overwhelmed with the gaslighting and fraudulent statements. I couldn't hang. And then what made it worse, this interview with Destiny on Dear Future Wifey, Dear Future Husband with the guy who, you remember that guy and the girl with the wig that fell off, and she said, "Oh my God. Oh my God. Nigga." Remember that? That's where Destiny had this interview, okay? Sis is viral, and I'm telling you, that lady whose wig fell off, it was a finger comber wig too. She kind of models for finger comber. I don't know, but she does a lot of work with finger comber. Maybe she's some kind of an associate, but honey, faithful to finger comber units. That is some of the first very natural, synthetic, non-human hair I've ever seen in my life. So finger comber. If you want to type that in, you'll look at the units. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you'll get one for yourself. But it is Black woman created and Black woman owned. Okay. Anyhow, no matter how many times people repost that, sister, it's going to get 70, 80, 90,000 views, whether it's on TikTok, it's on YouTube. People post and repost a short. It is so funny. She's like, "You gonna keep this in here?" And the guy's like, "Yes." She's like, "Jesus." Anyhow, so Destiny goes on there, right? And she gets to telling half stories on LeBaric, Dewan, Williams. She begins by, so she's talking about the fraud, right? There was a warrant for her arrest because she signed his name on a light bill, electric bill, whatever kind of bill it was, and it was, damn near $10,000 allegedly. And based on the proof, a warrant was sent out for her arrest, and she turned herself in. Now she goes on the show and says, "I have no bills in his name at all." That's the point, Destiny. You don't have any bills in his name. So you forged his name. You don't have any bills in his name. And you tried to put one in there and it didn't work. Destiny got on there and told every half truth she possibly could in order to make LeBeric look like crap and to make herself look like a little victim. And I couldn't suffer the comment section because there were women under there buying her story. Women under there who haven't seen how Destiny got down on Love and Marriage Huntsville, who haven't seen how Destiny gets down on social media, who haven't seen how Destiny is really quick to betray a friend, and how she's in lockstep with Martell Holt after everything she knows that he's done to Melody, in lockstep with this man. That says a lot about a woman's personality and her morality when she can be in lockstep with a Martell Holt after coming into the knowledge of who he truly is. That's why them Belinda girls, them Belinda Atlanta girls, they don't talk to Martell no more. They've unfollowed him. They don't want nothing to do with him. That whole friend group is done. Anyhow, she implies like something akin to false imprisonment on the barrack. She implies something related to false imprisonment. She implies that she was falsely arrested or falsely something. Basically, like LeBert cried wolf just to hurt her. And she sat there and acted like she had no idea what was going on, when in reality, the proof was there. It's not like LeBerick was anywhere near you when it happened. He was alerted. He was alerted at you trying to forge this signature. And he's like, no, 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 that's not. I just got an alert earlier this morning. I lost uh, a debit card. And I got an alert this morning that somebody was trying to buy something at the QFC. And I was like, okay. It's not like I was with the person who did it. It's just I got an alert on my account that let me know somebody tried to spend my money. And speaking of spending my money and people trying to spend my money, I am flying out tonight to, well, I'm flying out tonight, but my flight has so many layovers. I won't be in Huntsville. So today's the 18th. I won't be in Huntsville until the 19th, but I'm flying out late at night, basically. So late night, early morning. So I do have my Cash App cash tag up here, Uppity Unicorns, because it's the South is known for being hot, but it's a little something very different when it comes to the winter. I feel like so much of the South is not prepared for the winter. Like people in Seattle, people in the Pacific Northwest, we sort of kind of know how to drive in the snow. Uh, we know how to drive in the rain, especially, I mean, just horrible, heavy rain. You know, it's a rainforest. So we're used to this kind of weather, but so many places between Texas, Mississippi, and Alabama are just not built for the wet weather. Okay. So I'm going to have to upgrade my little Lyft rides to and from the airport and to and from the stand up live venue. So this is a humble request. You don't have to, of course, but I mean anything you want to put on my transportation is definitely going to help, and I appreciate it because I'm going to have to ride XL everywhere in order to have that four-wheel drive. Because you know, Lyft drivers will show up in a, Lord have mercy. They'll show up, they'll pick you up in a 1997 Honda and be like, "Get in." I've been too tall for cars. Y'all know I'm tall. Anyhow, so four-wheel drive, XL, snow tires. I know that's going to be an upgrade. So anything you can contribute helps. And it builds up fast when everybody participates. So thank you for that. But getting back to Destiny, she basically sets up the dialectic to seem like, oh, well, I got in trouble for forgery, but I don't have no bills in this man's name, meaning I didn't forge anything. That's the underlying implication. I didn't forge anything. I don't know why I got arrested. I don't know what's going on. He just likes to see me suffer. You know, LeBarrett comes off to me as somebody who can go off, but he does not come off to me as cruel. He doesn't come off to me as cruel. I think LeBarrett is the kind of man who can turn cold after giving a woman so much effort. But I don't see him as cruel. You guys have heard me describe Letitia as cruel. I don't believe LeBarrett is that. In fact, Destiny is so much like Martell that Martell and Destiny could never be in relationships with people who are like them. They could never do it. It just total incompatibility. Narcissists, and I'm calling Destiny a narcissist, y'all. I am. I know that word gets thrown around a lot, and if I'm guilty, I'm guilty. But as a person who studies psychology, like I'm gonna call her a narcissist, or at least she's on the spectrum. You know, they seek out the empath. They seek out the compassionate person. They seek out the neurodivergent or autistic person evil. They seek out the sweet. They seek out the kind. They seek out the empathetic. That's who they go for to pair themselves with. That's what the narcissist does. You could be in a room full of 100 people. And if there's only one narcissist in that room, 1 out of 99 people is a narcissist and 1 out of 99 people is an empath, they will eventually find each other in that room. And the sad thing about the poor little empath, they won't even be looking, but like a moth to a flame. Really dive into some of these stories on YouTube, Permission to Exist, Queen Being, Dr. Romney. Really dive into some of these stories, and you'll see every single time it's the narcissist and the codependent, or the narcissist and the empath. Because these are the only types of people who can stand to take their ish. These are people who feel what you feel. They cry with you. They do what Mel did with Destiny. They cry with you. They dig in their pocket and they pull out $4,000, $6,000 to pay your bill for you because compassion. They're suffering with you. They feel bad for you. They feel awful with you. They're crying with you. That empathy is what the narcissist looks for every time. The empath or the codependent. When it comes to Martell, Mel is the empath, Ariane is the codependent. And the codependent just can't do anything without you. Just stuck in life, can't move, can't breathe, can't eat, can't nothing without you. Can't let go, can't move on, can't get by without you. So when I'm looking at Laberic and Destiny, I do not see Laberic as having the personality of a codependent because he's actually very independent. So I'm thinking Laberic is some kind of, compassionate empath. And again, he was also friends with Martell. Same thing with Chris Fletcher. I can tell Chris Fletcher is like he's got a higher emotional EQ, emotional intelligence than most of the guys in the group. And I think he feels sorry to some degree for Martell. Anyhow, I hope I pulled that together well enough. So Destiny goes, he puts me away for fraud. I don't have any bills in his name. I don't know what he's talking about. And there are women who have been through genuine abuse all through the comment section relating to her. And I hate that. I hate that for them. I hate that for them because I'm like, you wear scars like a tiger wears stripes. And she's invoking your pain without having lived through your pain. I saw, you guys know I'm from the same state. I'm from Seattle, where Mary Kay Letourneau is from. I lived in the same neighborhood as Mary Kay Letourneau, and she's the woman who, became infamous, not famous, but infamous for basically taking the body of a 12-year-old Samoan boy. It's a white woman, Samoan boy, and she started hunching on him when she was 30 something, and he was 12. She groomed him. They eventually got married, and then he finally woke up around a certain age and was just like, traumatized and disgusted by his life and disgusted by the abuse he went through and the manipulation. And then somebody made a movie about him, right? The Samoan kid and Mary Kay Letourneau made a movie about him, didn't call him, didn't consult him, didn't pay him, didn't nothing. And he was just like, y'all are re traumatizing me. Y'all have exploited my story without even consulting with me, without even working with me to find out what is authentic and what is not. This could have gone better. This would have gone over better if you involved me in my trauma and in the thing that changed my life. That grown woman started hunching on that little boy when he was 12. And that story is so famous. Everywhere somebody recognizes him, they know who he is. And it's humiliating. We make this kind of space for girls, and sometimes we make this kind of space for boys, but we only really do it when it's a grown man doing it to little boys. And really, women can be just as predatory. I gotta say it. Some women, maybe we're not in terms of percentages just as predatory, but the point that I'm trying to make, I'm trying to draw an analogy between this boy who was abused and all those abused women in the comment section. I'm like, you have somebody getting clout off of your pain. She's lying. She didn't go through whatever you went through with your ex, with your baby daddy, with your whoever. She did not live that life with LeBaric. She's like, oh, he left me 3 weeks after having the baby. He's so bad, y'all. Oh. And it's like you conveniently skipped the part where he had to get a paternity test just to prove that little law was his. You try to make it seem like, oh, LeBeric's just mad because I named him Law instead of LeBeric and he wanted a junior, he wanted a LJ. And I'm like, I could see how that would be upsetting to LeBeric, just like he wanted Destiny to have his last name. Like he wanted her to be Destiny Williams, not Destiny Payton, not Destiny Payton Williams. He was like, no, this is what I want and it's a very big deal to me. And I understood both sides there. I understand why she wanted to keep her name and I understood why it was a big deal to him. But I'm like, he had to get a paternity test just to prove that Law was his because you admitted out of your mouth, Destiny, that LeBeric never cheated on you. So when you draw these conclusions and when you draw these analogies between LeBeric and Martell being the same person, I call fraud and I say how? Because Martell is almost markedly described and understood as a cheater. When you say Martell, you think of a narcissistic cheater. You think you open the dictionary, you see cheater, you see Martell. That's what you see. But you have this man where you're on a reunion and you admit from your own mouth, he's never cheated on me. But we took breaks. And then you laughed. I wish all the women in that comment section under Dear Future Wifey understood that she was in holy matrimony and taking a break from her newlywed husband because y'all wasn't married for nothing but half a second and you went hunching on some other man. And sometimes I think it was Moses because then she wanted to bring up Moses. Oh, he helped me through my divorce and blah. Mm-hmm. What did he help you with? With which part of his body did he help you? Huh? And I'm not trying to shame somebody for cheating, side chicking, side manning, whatever it is. But I'm just like, you got to call a thing what a thing is. I don't really fault people for their dirt until they want to ruin an innocent person with them, until they want to slander a person who's not guilty. So many people, they hate their own dirt so much, they look for somebody to attach it to. And they want to say, if they're a cheater, they want to look at you and say, "You're a cheater. You're a cheater. You're a cheat." Like they want to wipe it off of them. It's like a scent and they don't want to smell. It's like being musty in a room. And you say, "No, no, she did it. No, 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 she farted. She did it. That smells coming from her." Because you see how disgusted people are with you and you do anything to deflect that disgust. And I'm listening at her and I'm just like, "What the hell? Like just tell the full story." Listen, I have a lot of vices in my life and things that I've done that I'm not necessarily proud of, but I'm just like, I'd be damned if I told you a botched story. I will speak the truth, even if it's a word against myself. That is my integrity. That is what I hold on to. And I feel like I wouldn't know or love myself if I was void of that integrity. But I notice I get real judgmental. Y'all forgive me, but I get real judgmental when I cannot find that quality in other people. I'm like, own your dirt. If you do something wrong, you own your dirt, you tell the truth. I can kind of respect you for that. But when you start accusing somebody who's innocent, and hear me out because I have been known, people like to call me a male basher because I'm anti pick me, I'm anti Barb the Builder, I'm very much Sprinkle University, and that's on a Shira Star Goddess before she became Shira 7. So, I'm quick to talk about a Dusty and a Dust Mite, and you don't need him and get away from him. And if he don't pay for this and this, it's not worth it unless you're some kind of a millionaire ass woman who is fully like, I'm so known for that. But you guys, when I come up on a good black man who I can yield my respect to, I am fierce in admiration and protection of that man. You should see my channel where I'm talking about Mark E. Dean, different Medgar Evers. You should. I have a whole, and I'm almost crying just because I'm thinking about him. Just at the thought of his name, and I'm talking Malcolm X. I have a whole reading list where I'm reading on my channel different books by Malcolm. I mean, even in death, Malcolm has my loyalty. I do not play about a good African American man, about a wholesome, about a decent African American man, about a I grab my own dick and balls in my hands and I step black man. That kind of black man I will fight for. I will fight you for. Because we live in a culture, especially with us millennials, God help us millennials, we have such a bitch made culture when it comes to this sassy man apocalypse. And you got gay men out here having more regard and dick and balls when it comes to protecting women than some of our straight men. And it's crazy to me. It boggles my mind. So when I see a man who's free of that disease, I got a problem with you. I got a problem, and I'm not saying LeBaric is perfect or LeBaric is whatever, but I see certain qualities in LeBaric, and I see certain qualities in Chris Fletcher. I mean, he's not perfect either. But I'm like, these men make their mistakes, but they have integrity. I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, what, is this Cat Williams interview erotica to you? Because that's how it feels to me. There's just something about a man with integrity that I just lay it down for. I just, hey, it's such a rare quality. And I kind of think that's why he's not on the show anymore. I kind of think that that's why he does handle things in private and why he's not out here speaking about everything. I think that has something to do with how he carries himself as a man. We talk all the time about Marceau and him, being a BI and like whatever else because he's always talking to women and in women's business and woman and fighting like a woman and like a woman and like a. And LeBaric is so opposite of an attention whore. He's not even on a show that he was welcome to be on, that he's probably still welcome to be on. That's something you gotta respect. And she also accused, she said just the right amount of words, right? Because Destiny sometimes Destiny will not outright lie. Sometimes Destiny will just make implications because she knows how you're gonna put the words together. So if you say I suffered from abuse in my marriage, or if a woman says, I was in an abusive relationship, you don't assume that she was the abuser. You assume that the guy was. But you can say, I've been in abusive relationships and have been the abuser. I've heard men say it. I've heard men say it about abusing other women, about abusing women. Oh, I've been in abusive relationships before and I don't want that, blah, 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 blah. I don't want that this time around. So she pulled the same game, and that's all this big D energy. She talks about having them like you pulled a man move on a man. Oh, I've been in abusive relationships. We never saw you with a black eye, with a sore arm, with a gimpy walk, with a limp. We never saw none of that on you and LeBaric. I'm sorry, we never saw it. And according to these court documents and these proceedings that have happened, LeBaric is the one who took out the order of protection. He's the one who was like, "Yo, this woman pushes me and she shoves me and she gets in my face and she wraps her hands around my neck and she'll push me and say, 'You pushed me.'" That's worse than being a Karen. That's being a Carolyn Bryant, and that's on Emmett Till. I said what I said, and I'm not sorry. I said what I said, and I'm not sorry. That's worse than being a Karen. That's being a Carolyn Bryant. When you call the police, and let me preface this by this: I absolutely believe in Black women calling the police on Black men. I was raised as a total patriarchy pick me. A Black man could do anything to me, literally grape. And I would never tell. I would never tell because I was Black power this and that and F the pig and I don't want us in the system and blah, blah, blah. Even and I would allow myself to be victimized. That's a sickness. That's a sickness. When Megan the Stallion was worried about protecting Tory Lanez, you think that that was just Meg? That's the average African American woman who does that shit. And that's a sickness. That's a mental illness. If self preservation is the first law of nature, what are Black women doing? So now that I've said that as a preface, when you call the police on a Black man who has done you nothing, when you're the one putting your hands on him and you say he hit me, that's worse than being a Karen. That's Carolyn Bryant. It's a shame and a scandal. A shame. And we know Destiny is an aggressor because we've already watched her interact with other people. I'll drag you. I'm from Detroit, blah, blah, blah. I'll do this and that to you, Tiffany. You know, she was even popping off on mail. Open your eyes when I'm talking to you. I'm not Melanie, Malia, Milani, Mama Say, Mama Sama, Makusa. I'm not Martel Jr. I'm not none of it. I'm like, whoa. You want to get up and you want to throw chairs and you want to squat like Destiny always wants to fight. Destiny always wants to get physical. Y'all see the way she chased Mama Van, Adam Adani? And listen, it's not like Mama Van was running from her or anything, but I'm saying like one of her employees had to hold on to the door and had to try to speak life into Destiny like no, Destiny, that's a grown. Destiny goes, "Move." And then tells her, "You worry about pimping your daughter." Destiny wanted it so bad. That this is an absolutely aggressive woman. This is an absolutely physically aggressive woman. And I think men who join the military and men who are cops, I think they absolutely have a propensity to be woman beaters. I do. I do. I do. I do. I've seen it. The percentages, the statistics are out there. They're not up for debate. But imagine you're married to Destiny. Imagine you're married to Attitudinal as Destiny, who even in the first couple of years of your marriage has decided to quote take breaks. And now you're dealing with a pregnancy and a pregnant woman who you don't even know it's your pregnant wife and you don't know if the baby is yours or not. And then she keeps bothering you for more and more money and trying to come up on off of you. And when you don't give that to her, she starts pushing and shoving and choking on you and grabbing on you and then saying, "Oh yeah, you're pushing me." I can see that happening. When Trending at some point read LeBarrick's, court papers and his complaints and his police reports, I'm like, that sounds like the Destiny we've seen on TV. He's taken out an order protection. He's trying to get, full custody of his kid because he wants his kid to be taken care of. It's just you, Destiny. You are no longer his charge. He's not responsible for you. And once Moses let your ass go, you set your sights right back on LeBarrick. You weren't talking about LeBarrick when you were with Moses. You weren't worried about LeBarrick when you were with Moses. But as soon as you got empty, you went right back to what you're used to. And you started bothering him. But here's how we know you're a liar and how we know you're foul. You did the same thing that you're doing right now to LeBaric to Melody. Melody wasn't a good friend and she does have a dark heart and these secret truths that I know about you and blah blah blah. And I'm like, Destiny, Mel was a bomb ass friend to you. She was a dope ass friend to you. I mean, y'all walked right up on your pink slip because you couldn't pay your bills while you're busy calling yourself the damn breadwinner of your relationship. Walked right up on that pink slip and paid it all for you. Somebody say Jesus paid it all. Damn it. I grew up in Kojic churches, and that's what we talk about when we're talking about the crucifixion, like Jesus paid it all. Mel saw that bill heavy laden like a burden on your neck, and she paid it all. I'm over here right now trying to get cash apps for 5, 10, $15 because of transportation. If somebody imagine if somebody put $4,000 in my hand, $6,000 in my hands. Oh my God. And the thanks. I'm like everybody who's cash apping me, who's sending money to Uppity Unicoins. I'm like, thank you so much, thank you, and I'm posting it every single time on my community tab because I want to express that gratitude because it's a really big deal. In reality, one of us could go down to icy, cold, southern, below the Mason-Dixon line, Alabama, and get in an icy car accident. This is not a good time of year to have an event. It's not. I mean, I understand why they did it, and I'm still excited to go, but this is a bad time of year to plan anything. January right now is turning out to be the true December. So I'm saying, like, just comparing my gratitude for $10 and $15 donations and her ingratitude for $4,000, it kind of blows my mind because I can't relate to it. And I think we are most judgmental about things that we cannot relate to. I cannot relate to that. LeBeric straight bankrolled you. He made an honest woman out of you. And the first couple of seasons of Love and Marriage Huntsville, people liked you. Just like people liked Martell. And you know what? It was LeBeric's light shining on you that made people like you, just like it was Melody's light shining on Martell that made people like him. And once you both lost your lights, once you and Martell lost LeBeric and Mel, we started to see you for who you really are, the dimwits. These are lights and these are dim. It's just, she kept going. She went on to say some other things, but honestly, I was just looking at the women in the chat and I'm like, these poor women. I mean, giving their emotional strength and frequency to this woman who doesn't deserve it. You don't deserve it. This wouldn't be the first time that you betrayed someone who was good to you. And I'll be damned. I'm sorry, but if I was a grown man handling my business like a grown man, if you're under my roof, provided by my military loan, provided by my money, my job, and I got to get a paternity test for my son because my wife wasn't, man. Where would you be? Grab this timestamp. Tell me where you would be in that condition if you were a man doing all of the things. Because some men got you going 50-50 and you live with him like a roommate. Some men got you going 80-20 and you live with him like a slave. But when you're actually this, my husband's bankrolling me to get this Madonna, and she said she was the breadwinner. And I'm like, yeah, 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 Destiny, you're the breadwinner like you were the breadwinner with LeBeric, like Martell was the breadwinner, was the dominant parent with Mel. Get the whole hell out of here. What do you mean? You were the breadwinner in your marriage, like Martell was the dominant parent in his relationship with Mel. I call bull crap because immediately, even while you were still on the show, you said you went and you got food stamps. Let me tell you a little something about food stamps because I would know, because I have been down to that CSO after unemployment and whatever else and got my little EBT, Eat Better Today card. I think it's called electronic benefits transfer, but I saw a girl say eat better today and I just died. Um, One time I went to apply, and because I had had a job in the last year and the amount of money that I was making, I couldn't qualify. And it wasn't like no super duper corporate, I'm a six-figure person. I was a school teacher. That's $2,800 a month. That's 2,800 a month, y'all. I mean, that's scratching and surviving. Teachers are broke. Was it 2,800? I think it might have been 26. The highest I've ever been paid as a school teacher is like 3,400 American dollars, and that was in Saudi Dam Arabia. But here in these United States, please, barely scratching towards 3,000. But this is at a time, I miscarried and I had gone through all kinds of stuff and postpartum bleeding and postpartum depression and whatever else, and I could barely get anything. And somebody was like, "You need to come back here and lie. You need to come back here and lie. That's the only way you can do it." I mean, and I didn't. I just waited. But I mean, so when Destiny says she's this Madani owning breadwinner, and you're just really how? How when we see jails, it's called Gels, the his barbecue place. We knew him as the chicken man, right? Kimmy made a joke. He had that food truck. Now he has this restaurant. He's got military benefits from his time in the service. Like, but you're the breadwinner. Why? Because you're on Love and Marriage Huntsville? Bullshit. Because you're running Madani? Bullshit. Madani can't even pay for itself. How are you the breadwinner when you're thousands and thousands of dollars in debt? What is this $20,000 medical bill that you speak of? If you were married to a military man, like that would have been covered. Why are you lying? Why are you telling half truths? None of this makes any sense to anyone who's been paying attention. And I feel bad for the people who are listening to her who have not been paying attention, because really, that's the truth of what happens to victims of narcissists. Narcissists go out on their smear campaigns, and you best believe this is a smear campaign against Leberick, just like what Martell did against Mel. And if you're not paying attention, you will believe that person and you will harm that innocent person. And then wake up and wonder why your life is jacked up. And it's because touch not mine anointed. It's because you went in on somebody who truly didn't deserve it. I had a woman all up and down YouTube calling me a hoe. I mean, a ho, 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 Merry Christmas. And somebody doxed her and found out she was a streetwalker in the good old Las Damn Vegas, and got she was trying to sell some on the Las Vegas Strip, and that's where she was apprehended. And I'm like, oh, I get it. This is projection. Because Lord knows I've lived most of my life as a damn prude and having a very unhealthy relationship to my sexuality, going years at a time without any sex, trying to prove myself pure and holy and acceptable and whatever else. I had some serious Kojic, and then on top of that, Islamic, I don't want to say brainwashing, but grooming, that made me like, I was damn near allergic to my private parts. I'm like, I don't want to do anything. People made me feel so bad for being, I mean, younger at the time, being sexy and having a certain body type and having a certain look. And I was just, I was made to feel guilty about it. My sister would say, Chocolate, that's my real name. Chocolate looks like she's one of Prince's girls. So you think Apollonia, you think Vanity. It's not just that they're pretty, it's that they have a certain look. So I grew up at a young age having that look, and people made me feel so bad about it. Because you look, when you're sexy, you look like people think sex, they think you. And I would internalize all of that and victimize my own self and punish my own self for stuff that I wasn't even doing. So I'm just saying there are times where people were bad people, and I do believe bad people exist. I'm sorry. I believe Destiny's a bad person. I believe Letitia's a bad person. I believe Martell is a bad person. And I believe they have no redeemable qualities. No redeemable qualities. Some people are whole felons, right? Whole damn felon. Caught a body here, caught a body there, caught a body about a week ago, but us and then we took it hoe. Like straight up black tear tattoo. But the homie passed away, and he's been taking care of the homie's wife and kids ever since. Ain't never tried to touch that woman, ain't never tried to get nothing from that woman, but just because he's loyal to the homie, he's sending 3 bands every month, and it's been 7 years. That's called a redeemable quality. That's called when you look at somebody's ain't shit rap sheet, and then you figure out who they are to the community. And it's like, well, damn. Well, damn. It's like how people, want to look at Cat Williams and they're like, oh, he's bitter, he's this, he's that. But then you get all these testimonies about who Cat is and what he's done for other people without sounding some big trumpet in front of him. That's called redeemable qualities. Sometimes you're a bad girl with a good heart. Sometimes you're a bad boy with a good heart. And you do some rough stuff because rough situations is what you were forged in. But I have, there are felons who they can't get enough of raising kittens. and they take in all kinds of strays and they take care of them, and they feed them milk from a bottle and whatever else, and all they want to do is plant trees in their free time. Like, this exists, you guys. This exists. And so it's just like, ah, you're a menace to society. And then you see all these redeeming qualities, and you're just like, oh, I see why she still messes with him. He loves his kids. He fights for his kids. I see why she still messes with him. He's really good to his mom and her aunts and blah 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 blah. Oh, I see why she still messes with him. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there are people who do messed up stuff, but you still, it's like it's like Kiki. Kiki's temper and the she's got that temper, and it'll put you off, but then there are other things about Kiki that it's like you can't help but be like, she's got redeemable qualities. Destiny has no redeemable qualities. The only redeemable quality she could possibly have is the fact that she's pretty. uh I personally feel like she's built like a potato sack, but at the end of the day, I'm not a man, so what I think does not effing matter. Okay? It doesn't matter, because there are plenty of men who see her and see a beautiful woman, and they see her and they see wife until they see her character. But at least, pretty will get you, oh so far. Pretty will get you, it'll get you some cash apps and some fluid outs and some whatever, right? But I mean, as a woman, I can't find redeemable qualities in her. Like, even with Letitia, it's like, what are you, a dope ass mom? Nope. What are you, a dope ass daughter, a dope ass sibling? Nope. A wonderful community member? Nope. A pillar in your community? Hell, the number one president PTA parent? Nope. Like, what is your good thing that will make us suffer your presence? Nothing. Nothing. So I have held y'all hostage for over 40 minutes. Um, I want to just quickly thank you for being here with me for 40 minutes, because you could spend this time with anybody else. I pray you've gotten something for this. I pray that I've opened your heart and caused you to think about things. I hope that I have affirmed some thoughts you have already had that maybe you couldn't put into words. I I hope and I will that your time with me, the time you spend with me, is fruitful. I don't want to be a waste of time. I don't want to be a YouTube waste of your time. I truly want you to get something out of my content, because if not, then what are we doing here? I see what y'all are doing with y'all are low key. I've got like what? You guys are pushing me real close to 7K subscribers, and I haven't even been advertising and bringing it up. Which I be meaning to. It just hasn't came up. And I'll just blink and look back at my subscriber base, and I'm just like, what? I'm less than 100 people away from 7K. Y'all, thank you. That means a whole hell of a lot to me. And I just feel free to comment in the comment section about what you want to hear, where you want to go. My ears are open to you, my eyes are open to you. I really appreciate this. There's no Uppity Unicorn YouTube channel without the people who watch. So with that being said, I feel I talk like this about Destiny because I feel this to my core. If I was held up on the day of judgment and I had to repeat everything that I would say, I would repeat every. I would be like, ah, "You're with Uppity. It's almost 8 a.m. in the Pacific Northwest." Like it, I would say it all over again, because I really believe this is my real opinion. I have to throw out the allegedlys and whatever else, because there are some things that I don't know and cannot prove. But from what I have gleaned, I'm like, you're absolutely going on a smear campaign against LeBerick. He was absolutely the better person in the marriage, and that's the real reason his mama didn't like you. It's not that she was like, oh, his mom couldn't get out of our relationship. I'm the first person to understand a prying mother, because annulment, and I'm not going to say nothing after that. But I'm the first person to understand a mom situating herself right in the middle. But also, when you are predatory on someone's son and they're a little softer and can't see it, mom will go mama bear. And I'm like, you chose LeBeric like Martell chose Melody. You chose the come up. And I can't say there's anything wrong with wanting to marry somebody who benefits you. Y'all, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's when you use and abuse that person, when you're not giving the equivalent back. And I say the equivalent because it doesn't have to be money. Sometimes it's love and loyalty and attention. You'd be surprised at how far that goes. Savannah James don't pay LeBron James's bills, but there's a little subtle thing that she does. She takes picture with women, and when men ask her for pictures, she says no, because you shall not touch my husband's wife. That makes men proud. Men always say the biggest flex is when no other man can touch your girl, when your girl is untouchable. It's their biggest flex. And so she gives to LeBron the biggest flex. It's an equivalent. It's like, I made the right decision. I spent the money on the right girl. I married the right girl. I wifed up the right girl. I made a mother out of the right girl. Thank you for reaffirming my decisions and supporting me. Thank you for not getting in the way of this basketball and whatever else. And you travel too much and you need to come home. And I miss you and these kids and these kids and these whatever. Like, your equivalent doesn't have to be a mirror image of what the partner gives you, but it has to be, you know, worth as much to the person. You'd be surprised at how many good men just want to be loved. How many 6 and 7 and 8 figure men just want to be loved because somebody always wants them for their money. It's just like being a super pretty girl. Some of the most unhappy single forever women are Halle Berry's. Halle Berry and Halle Berry like, because they're so damn pretty that men want to acquire them and not love them. See what I got? Look what I got. Look what I got. It's a Beamer. It's a Halle Berry. And it's like, hello, I'm human. You're in love with the idea of me, but not me myself. You don't even like me. You don't even like my personality. You just like what it looks like to say that I'm yours. Y'all, I hope I'm making sense to you. Prayers up for Liberic, petitions up for Liberic, well wishes up for Liberic, because Destiny's a monster. Destiny's a whole monster. I don't know. I remember Destiny being fun in the first couple of seasons. I remember her making sense in the first couple of seasons, and then she just turned and never turned back. I was waiting for the first season, second season Destiny to show back up when she started wilding out and talking crazy, but I'm just like, oh, I see what happened. You just got comfortable. That's all. This is just who you really are. You're a user and you're a manipulator and you're conniving. And here's what I'm going to say that is my most controversial opinion. I don't fault people for reactive abuse. I do not fault people for reactive abuse. So, for example, when Mel whooped Martell's ass, I don't give a sugar honey iced tea. I don't, because I know she was pushed to it. I know that she was pushed to it. So if LeBeric had to shake Destiny off one or two or three good times, or push her off or push her down, like, get off me, I'm not going to be mad at that. I'm not going to be mad at a man who has in a police report. She chokes me. She pushes me. She wraps her hands around my neck. She tries to manipulate me. And yeah, I get her off me. I don't know how many black men have gone down. We've seen them all over TikTok where their little white girlfriends are, like, grabbing onto them, begging them not to leave. And they have to film themselves trying to peel her off them because she's just going to say, he hit me, and try to get him in trouble. Destiny has like the shrunken emotional ability to where if you don't give her her way, you like to see her suffer. So when she says LeBeric likes to see her suffer, that's how she felt about Melody. You won't give me no more money, so you like to see me suffer. You won't take me with you, so you like to see me suffer. You won't elevate me as you elevate yourself, so you like to see me suffer. So you have a dark soul, so I hold dark truths about you. So you. It's like, okay, but you sit up at 1 and 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning on the phone with her ex-husband. What you think of that? You hang up with her to talk to her ex-husband. You're there for her ex-husband, even though You know, he had a baby on her, manipulated her, stole tens of thousands of dollars from her to take care of his mistress. You know all of that. I wouldn't want to be a friend with you either. I wouldn't be able to. I don't know how Mel does it. Because if you're friends with my abuser, I have a cousin who's a friend of my an abuser from forever ago. And I can't barely look at him or talk to him, even though my blood flows through his veins. We are a family, first cousins, not second, third, and in-laws. We are first cousins. And I can't barely stand to look at him because how could you? How could you? How could you love me and be cool with this? Like, nope, nope. You know what he's done. I told you the story. Okay, now I've had y'all for almost an hour. So I need to get out of here. Again, all of the contributions to Uppity Unicorns is appreciated. I definitely, when I budgeted the trip, the flight and the Airbnb and whatever else, I was just like, oh, at the last minute, I'm like, oh, it's icy. There's black ice, the roads. So anything is appreciated. Y'all take care. I am Uppity and I'm out of here.